Way and welcome to On Cup on Tea with me, the Rev, with Frosty, and yes, I found my Christmas jumper, and I'm having my perfect little cup of tea. Today I want to go and ask you, how's things going, folks? How's the preparations for Christmas? Oh, Christmas. Oh, I was talking with someone and said, oh, how's things going for Christmas? Oh, I don't know. Just not geared up for it at all this year. Oh, I was talking to someone else. Well, how's things going for Christmas? Is business going well? Haven't really thought about Christmas at all. Myself and Josh were driving through the town in Tullamore. We're like, I love looking at the windows and the artwork that's done on the windows for Christmas. And we were just trying, I said, let's look at the windows here. And not one shop window had artwork in it. It's like, oh, come on. Have we lost that sense of celebration? Woo! And so during the week I was really excited because here's why. I was reading the book of Esther, which is a book in the Bible about a lady named Esther. And she ended up that in the story, and this is way before the birth of Christ, way before the Christmas narrative, way before all that we entails at this time of year. And they give 3 reasons why it is that we should celebrate. And in their case, Purim, which was what the festival that they had set up, but it's also the reason why we should celebrate Christmas and give gifts, because that's what it actually says in the passage of scripture. Just listen to this. This is Esther chapter 9, verse 20. Mordecai recorded these events, and he sent letters to all the Jews throughout the provinces of King Xerxes, near and far, to have them celebrate, woohoo, annually, the 14th and 15th days of the month of Adar, as that time when the Jews got relief from their enemies, reason number 1, as the month when their sorrow was turned into joy, reason number 2, and number 3, and their mourning into a day of celebration. He wrote them to observe the days as days of feasting and joy, giving presents of food to one another and gifts to the poor. You see, when we think about that, that should excite us and fire us up, because when we think about Christmas, is that not what God has done for you? God has gone and has delivered you from your enemies? Yes, he has. Because our enemies are not flesh and blood, but principalities and powers and sources of darkness. God has delivered us from them through the person of Jesus, whose name means the Lord saves. Not only that, but God, I love this, as the month when their sorrow turned into joy. So as you approach Christmas, even with your sorrow, so it's not dismissing it, it's saying the sorrow is there, but it's turned into joy. Now, why was it turned into joy? It was turned into joy because they had been set free. They had been liberated from the tyranny of those who wanted to annihilate them. They had been given opportunity to live life. And is that not what we should do, you and I? That we have been given by God the opportunity to live life. And it goes on further and says that it goes and turn their sorrow into joy. I love that. And their mourning into a day of celebration. Celebrate. So, question is, coming up to Christmas, we're on a week away. Are you someone who has lost why it is that we give gifts? Are you someone who has lost the joy of Christmas? Are you someone who's approaching this season with mourning and a heavy heart, which is true? And so I asked the question. I want to ask you the question. When you think about the birth of Jesus Christ, what does it mean to you? When you come to Christmas, is it that it's just a season that is like, drudgery and dreariness and having to do the extra mile for everything? Or is it the time when you stop up and you think about the fact that God has taken us out of this miserable life that we have in the person of Jesus Christ and given us life more abundantly through Jesus? Is it the time when you stop up and think that the things, the mourning, why the sadness that we have of soul, that God has given us joy, living water welling up within us, reason to celebrate. Woo! Celebrations! And so, is it that you, like me, need to receive a letter from Mordecai, which goes and says, here are 3 reasons for you to celebrate. 1, God has destroyed your enemies. Satan, the scripture goes and says, and the God of peace will soon crush Satan underneath our feet. So 1, God has destroyed our enemies. Through the coming of Christ, through the life of Christ, through the death of Christ, through the resurrection of Christ, death has been defeated. 2, that he has taken our mourning and given us reason for joy. People think that Christianity is a killjoy. If your Christianity or your form of Christianity is a killjoy, if you've lost that, there's no sense of joy in your religion, your faith, then you've missed what Christianity is all about. You've missed the function of Christmas. You've missed the joy that it brings. And then the third thing, of course, is that he takes that mourning and turns it into a day of celebration. So let me encourage you to celebrate. What more can I say? Thank you for joining me on Cupán. And hey, I know Frosty knocked you out with everything that he had to say, didn't he? Anyway, till next time, the Lord bless you guys as you prepare for the coming of Christ.